Hello, Conclave X. This is Kazatul, officer of Conclave X, and welcome to a crash course on Korg. Let's get into this. So, Korg has some abilities here that make him problematic to fight. In particular, is his signature ability, so we'll cover that last. Let's quickly run down his abilities. Passive, immune to bleed and shock, great. Crowd excitement, we'll come back to these in detail, so I'm just rattling them off. When the crowd excitement reaches 6 or more, Korg becomes unstoppable and unblockable for 2 seconds. Not a good thing, I would imagine. Heavy attacks, he can armor break you. Try not to get hit with that. And rock shield, basically this heavily mitigates damage that you do against him while his rock shield is up. When his signature ability is active, this also triggers some more painful abilities as well. Special attack 1, if he has 1 or more crowd excitement, it is unblockable, and the special 1 attack is very unintuitive to avoid. This video will not go over how to avoid his special 1 attack. There are lots of videos out there on how to properly fight Korg. This is not one of them. This is a down and dirty, let's just get the job done by hook or by crook. You will take damage using these techniques here. The goal is to not wipe against the Korg defender though. So, special attack 2 is easy. Don't get hit by it. Does a lot of damage. The bleed damage is pretty significant, and it's really easy to avoid. Just dash back a bunch of times and you get out of his way. Special attack 3, crowd excitement goes up for 20 seconds. So basically what that means is you come out of the special 3 with a few bruises. You're pretty much backed into your corner from that special 3, and Korg is coming at you unblockable and unstoppable, and you've probably just lost the match at that point, so don't push him up to his special 3. Not very practical to tank that. Then we'll get into the Rock Hard Thorns, his signature ability here, and basically, if you hit Korg with a medium attack, a heavy attack, or a special attack, while his shield is up, it does about 1,500 damage each time you hit him against a max signature level 4-star Korg. While his rock shield is active, Korg has a 65% chance to shrug off debuffs and gain 1 rock shield charge in the process each time a debuff is shrugged off. That means parrying is likely to cause him to gain more rock shield charges, which means more 1,500 damages per medium, and which means more rock shield charges to get through before you can actually parry him or hit him with debuffs here. So, yeah, try to avoid that here. So then, as we said, we're going to deep dive into these a little more. Crowd excitement, how does he gain it? He gains it in 3 ways, actually 4, I guess. So the first 2 ways have to do with blocking. If you just beat into his block, he gains 1 each time you hit him. If he parries you, he gains 2. The next way is if you bring an evade champ to attack him and a passive evade is triggered, then he gains 3 crowd excitement here. So, sorry, don't bring Stark Spidey against him. It's a horrible matchup. Then the other way, and the most common way, is if you just dexterity one of his basic attacks, so a medium, a light, or heavy. If you trigger dexterity, he gains 3 crowd excitement, and as we said, if he reaches 6 or more, he becomes unstoppable and unblockable for 2 seconds. And last but certainly not least, as you see, really the rock shield, the signature ability makes the rock shield painful there. It gives him that thorns damage and allows him to shrug off debuffs. And as we had mentioned, his rock shield also mitigates damage by quite a bit here. So let's dive into some gameplay footage and see how to fight him in a down and dirty way. As I said, not the proper way to fight Korg. This definitely won't work for an Alliance War boss, but if he's just scattered around his lane trash, you come across an awakened Korg, this should be good enough to get you by. So let's take a look at one aspect of his signature ability, and that's his ability to shrug off debuffs and gain rock charges in the process here. So he's up to 14 rock charges. Remember, he starts the fight off with 9, so I'm just intentionally carrying here. So he's up to 15, now to 16. And now I've triggered Unstoppable, Unblockable by trying to dex his heavy attack from close up. So really, This is not the way you want to fight Korg. You're just totally getting wrecked at every opportunity here. The only thing that actually saves me in this match is I know how to avoid a special one. I actually know how to fight Korg. So the rest of this match, and I won't roll at all, I'm actually fighting him properly, and I do end up winning it. So let's take a look at how to avoid his special 2. Now I'm going to start this one off by showing, okay, well, I'm actually fighting Korg properly here since I'm using a 3-star champ in this match. And I'm just wearing down his rock shield so I can safely parry him. So you'll see once I bring his rock shield down and I parry him, I bring him up to 2 bars of power, and then I intentionally start triggering Crowd Frenzy because I want him to let off that special 2. And he is really loose with his specials when you trigger that unstoppable block roll. And as you see here, I just dashed the initial attack back. You can just keep dashing back a bunch of times, or since I'm using a 3-star champ and I'm positioning him for a light attack counter from that special 2, I just dodge his overhead smash. If you're not used to it, it's easy to mess that timing up there. It's basically as soon as he's going to bonk you on the noggin, that is when you want to dash back that second time. There we go. Boom. Okay, let's put this all together. Down and dirty Korg match, mano a mano, toe to toe, taking that thorns damage, taking that block damage. Yes, I know how to fight Korg properly, but I'm using Void. Void has a very long dash back. 2 things result of that when fighting Korg. 1, the timing for that backdraft light attack intercept's a little tighter because there's more distance in between you when he dashes back. And 2, and more importantly, because his dash back covers so much ground, I always find that I'm cornering myself when I'm using Void. So here I just opted to go down and dirty, toe to toe, and exchange blows with him, keep him pinned in his corner, and just suck up the Thorn's damage. So I'm baiting heavy attacks, and I am intercepting, doing a 5-hit combo, ending with a light. Always end with a light. That way I don't have to worry about taking that tail end Thorn's damage by mistake by ending the combo with a medium. The only time I'm looking at his rock shield charges are when I'm about to let off a special, because I don't want to lose any of the Void debuffs to the signature ability Purify that Korg has here. So we'll see. I do a couple of debuffs that get sucked up. Here's one. Bam. Lost it. So Korg's in a real bad shape here. If you notice, I'm also not parrying at all. And I'm so used to fighting Korg as an Alliance War boss, honestly, I forgot that I could parry him. So you should have an easier time fighting Korg than me. So anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for tuning in. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you all in game.